Guys, welcome back to another live stream. How we all doing tonight? Little bit of a tough day today. It's all right though. We're still, I believe, green on the week. Let's take a look over here. Yep, still slightly green. And there's definitely some potential for us to run up tomorrow as well. So how's everybody feeling today? After today, how's the morale like in here? Let's see. Oh, shout out the mods. What's going on, guys? Pushing. What's up, buddy? Fee rhymes with AMC. There we go. Seabiscuit. Oh, Pushing's already breaking out the band hammer. There he is. We got a lot of stuff to go over. The two things that I didn't get to touch on in my video today were like the two things that I think a lot of people were freaking out about. The Brazil thing, which we kind of already know about. If you guys have been watching either some other videos or other streams, basically nothing. It's not exposing the naked shorting. And then we have this new lawsuit. So at this point, it's really only an opinion you can draw on the lawsuit. So we're going to go over that as well. Let's see. Do you think the MOS will happen before the end of the end of this year? Says Dixie. It's possible. Nobody knows though. Can the squeeze start pre-market? Roberto, yeah, it can definitely start in pre-market, but there's not enough volume in the pre-market or after market trading period to cover all of the shorts that are out there. Like we already know that there's, what is it, 100 million ish on loan. Let's pull up Ortex. Let's do a little Ortex update. A little change over here. All right. Ortex for AMC, we have current short interest, 18%, barely down today. Return shares, 2.05 million. Borrowed shares, 2.01 million. Basically no net change on the day. We have utilization at basically 91%. Still 105 million shares on loan. So we're still in basically the same spot that we were in before. How's it going, Vic? Says Matt's totally real oil. Doing pretty good. Brazil is a nothing burger. Yeah, we all knew that. Let's see. Unless the lawsuit helps the MOAS, I'm skeptical. Nope. Yeah, we can get into that. Okay. So this lawsuit right here, this is what I've been sent. There's a couple of things that we need to cover in this. So this is the suit right here. Let me wait a little bit to really start getting into it before we can get some more people in here. SOM Dork, smash the like. Thank you. Sean Harrington, what's up, buddy? Let's see. They attack us hard just to drop it 5%. Yeah, we were down like 7.5 today, but again, shorts haven't covered. So what's the big deal? I think more people are getting towards that now. It's like, okay, they can move and mess around with the price, but if the shorts haven't covered, it doesn't matter. So this right here, the plaintiff is Donahue George, defendant Ken Griffin, Citadel, the dark pool, Citadel, the hedge fund, the SEC, FINRA, the DTCC, Robinhood, and Webull. Right off the bat, this looks a little bit weird. Why is the SEC listed as a defendant? Why is the DTCC? I get Robinhood kind of, and Webull sort of, if this has to do with Citadel Connect and Webull and Robinhood with their payment for order flow activities, but little bit weird. Now, when we look deeper, these are kind of the basically the updates from the case. Cool. Now, when we come over to this screenshot right here, so this is the screenshot of the actual like filing. When we see the cause of action, it's selling counterfeit shares, but they spelled counterfeit wrong. Honestly, what this looks like right now, even though we see this individual as, so here's the thing, the plaintiff is not the person that's bringing the case. The plaintiff is the person that has been like wronged in this legal situation. And we can kind of take a look at this individual who's bringing the case's history. And when we look right here, we can look and get a little bit of a deeper insight into who this individual is. But again, they're not the ones prosecuting this case. Now, this individual says there will always be a security gap that can be exploited. Private investigator, financial crimes, cybersecurity in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, this case was brought in Broward County, Florida. So this could potentially be the individual. It would make sense. Who knows? About member International Association of Interviewers, member Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, United States Marine Corps. Thank you for your service. Director of Security at Trinidad Consultants, and then where they went to school. So, but again, this individual isn't the person like actually bringing the case, just the plaintiff. So when we look at this right here, I really want everybody to think about when these cases are being brought, well, how does this affect us as AMC shareholders? Is it the squeeze catalyst? Now, I've heard some rumors that this is under the RICO statute, which that does add some legitimacy to it because that is the way that West Christian has prosecuted some of these cases in the past. So it adds some legitimacy. RICO is essentially being able to charge, if I'm not mistaken, it's being able to charge like higher up people for directing a crime versus actually committing the crime themselves. So it's a way to get the people at the top versus just the lower level perpetrators. Beats by Jay, thank you so much for the super. So I get that BVRs represented a share at the 6-to-1 ratio, but who is holding those shares? I called someone at Fidelity and they couldn't explain it. So we can go over that a little bit later. Essentially what's going on there is it's like the ADRs that we have in America. So when we think about what's going on with, like, if you want to invest in Alibaba, one, I don't think a lot of people know this, you don't actually own shares. You own shares in like a holding company that has an interest in them. There's different levels of ADRs too, which we can go over. So that's probably going to be the best way to explain it. But when we're thinking about this lawsuit, if they win the lawsuit, one, it's going to happen years from now. They would just continue to fight. Citadel, most likely, and Robinhood and Webull and the SEC and FINRA and the DTCC have way more money to just battle these types of cases because they allocate money for this exact scenario. So they're most likely going to outlast whatever this is, unless it's brought by like the SEC. Second thing, if they win, is this going to cause the squeeze? My opinion is no. In my opinion, this is where we're at right now. It's kind of all opinion based with those types of legal filings. It's like, well, you can say it's good or you can say it's bad, but nobody really knows until the legal file, like the actual legal process gets going. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, not going to cause the squeeze. Cool. Let them do whatever they want to do. But at the same time, it's like, if this is a legit case and they're bringing it too early and then the defendants win, then that just kind of adds to their confidence that they can do whatever they want. The case will settle outside of court, says Norm. Most likely. I thought the government can only issue a RICO investigation. I don't think so. Because I know West Christian was mentioning like trying these cases under the RICO statute. But I'd have to look into that more. Exactly. RICO allows for the prosecution of higher ups for the actions of the underlings, 100% CT. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter. But again, that's just my opinion. We saw what happened with the last potential legal case that caused a lot of drama. So who knows? I don't really care about it. Some people might. That's just kind of where I stand. Sean, no. That's Sean. Come on, dude. Sean Gallant. One, that you probably didn't listen fully what I was saying. The lawsuit is not going to be something that causes the squeeze. Not forget the squeeze. God. Sounds like the TV show Billions. It could be. Honestly, done watching price during the day. All I care about is shorts covering and come here to see people roast STV. Henry, I'm pretty sure I do most of the roasting around here. Like, people will say something and then I just clap back. I only want to see margin calls and bankrupt hedge funds. Okay, we can talk about margin calls and bankrupting hedge funds because that's what a lot of people are looking for. One, the big institutions, they're going to be fine, in my opinion, unless they are the ones holding all of this BS synthetic crap, honestly. Unless one large institution is holding it, then they're good. They're going to take significant losses, but they're probably not going to collapse. But here's who will. It's the smaller institutions. The reason that the smaller institutions are going to be the ones that go is because when you think about like maintaining margin requirements, the large institutions, if you're like over leveraged on an AMC position, most likely that is going to take up a lot lower of a percentage of your portfolio than smaller institutions. So when they have to gain this capital and collateral to deposit to the NSCC or to whoever they're trading through, then it's going to be a lot more difficult for them. And those are going to be the people that start to cover first. So it's a domino effect. It's like the smaller people are going to start covering first, and then the price could get up to the certain levels where now those bigger institutions can't maintain those margin requirements anymore, which is basically the margin calls. They're depositing more money because they're going under that maintenance margin requirement. Then they would cover their position. The only FUD, not understanding the true DD. Shorts haven't covered. Truth in DD. Chris, I agree. Shorts have not covered. I mean, okay, some shorts have covered, but the vast majority of shorts that are out there have not covered. Like in the June run up, yeah, obviously some shorts were covering. It's almost impossible to not have some shorts cover in a stock that goes from 10 to 77. That doesn't make any logical sense. Unless they're the big boys that can mess around with the margin requirements, then it's just the system is corrupt. When they let us win, is only going to be allowed to make themselves look like the victim and not make the system look like the system is quote unquote rigged. Yeah, possible. Click that ravishing like button. That's a good one. Oh, I think Zip Trader says that. I think Citadel using small hedge funds to push it down so they can cover low and vanquish the small hedgies. That's interesting. I mean, who knows? Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't a market pullback increase pressure on creditors of hedge funds to call in their loans as the creditors' assets decline in value? CT, it's very possible because they could be getting margin called on their long positions too. So it really depends on who gets margin called for. Like if you are overall like net long on the market when a big market event were to happen, then yeah, you'd get margin called and you'd probably cover a vast majority of your position. You may not cover your entire AMC short, but if you're already over leveraged, then you might cover some of it. But the thing is that I was one of these people that was talking about negative beta for AMC. I've kind of switched around and saying, yeah, even though AMC has a negative or could potentially have a negative beta on that 1 year time frame, it may not matter if the market starts to come down because we know AMC is a crazily manipulated stock. So when something is super manipulated, the normal data points don't necessarily apply as much. So we could easily see, this is something I've said in almost every video and every live stream for the past couple of days, that if we're right here at 33, the market comes down, they're just going to keep shorting all the way down to a certain level where then the algos will switch to buy, but then they're covering more shorts. So it's just starting to squeeze from a further back level, but there's more stuff to cover. So I don't think it really changes the height of the squeeze. It just changes our starting point. Vix is missing the Wheel of Fortune to stream with us. Yeah, if you guys don't mind just dropping a like on the stream, it just helps us out with the algorithm. And those CNBC fudders are up there. Also, this Citigroup thing is so backwards. We can go over that too. That is wild. SCV getting shorted. What happened? Is there something wrong over here? Did I mess up? How can they continue to lose money by shorting? Don't their bosses get pissed seeing a loss every day? Like we don't know. We don't necessarily know what their position is, or like they don't play by the same rules. That's the other thing you have to think about. They have so much money to play with that a big loss isn't necessary. It may not mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. It'll get there eventually. And they play by different rules in terms of margin requirements. Lawsuit non-starter. Focus on the price action. I agree. We went over that. Citigroup, say one thing, do another. Yeah, hold on, I'll pull up the Citigroup thing. It's just BS. Here we go. Citigroup acting crazy right now. Very illogical behavior out of this institution. They also have a crazy amount of derivative exposure, so they're not too smart to begin with what the market situation is, in my opinion. So AMC Entertainment had its target price increased by stock analysts at Citigroup from $3.70 to $5. Okay. Just right off the bat, you're like, that's kind of weird. In a research report issued to clients and investors on Thursday, the firm currently has a sell rating on the stock. Citigroup's price objective would suggest a potential downside of 86.32% from the stock's previous close. That's not going to happen, especially with the retail support and institutional support that the stock has gotten over the last couple of quarters. The other thing that doesn't make any sense is that if you look at Citigroup's most recent 13F, they increased their position in AMC in Q2 by 92%. So now they're coming out and saying, yeah, we still have a sell rating on the stock, but behind the scenes, we're buying it. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Let's see. AMC isn't the only stock firms are in, so they can be taking losses in AMC, but using gains from other places to cover. 100%. Just like retail investors are using more money from other trades to put money into AMC. Eric, good to see you back in here. Thank you so much for the super STV. 2 questions. 1, I didn't see the Ortex data. Can you show it again? Yes, I can. 2, what's it like to play against Dikembe Mutombo, the tall NBA guy? I don't play basketball, even though I'm like kind of sort of tall. So the dark pools control all their losses too. I mean, that could be where they're making trades, but they're still taking losses. All right, let's go back over Ortex. Little refresh. Nothing really changed today. A net return of 38,000 shares, and the utilization is at 91. Current short interest 18. Shares on loan 105 million. Percentage of the free float on loan 20.65. Estimated short interest 18.01%. But over here it says 18%. I think this one's a little bit more accurate than these numbers up here. These don't really change. Let's see. Is there any reason Citi would buy that this makes sense? No, they make no sense by coming out with this sell. I mean, they upped their price target, so good for them, but their price target's still $5. It's like, really, guys? Come on now. We know what you're doing. Ingrid, thank you so much for the super. Hey, STV, are we at all concerned that the institutions are pumping and dumping or playing on volatility? Ingrid, no, I'm not at all. Here's why. So when we look at this chart right here, the effective date for the 13F filings is right here, right around here at $58. So these institutions were buying. So here's the second quarter, the effective period of what we're looking at right here. Where is it? Right here. The price was in the $9 range. So $9 up to 77, down to 58 is basically the price movement that we're looking at here for the institutions. So when the institutions are really buying a lot, BlackRock, Vanguard, especially Renaissance, are buying through these rips and through these dips, it means that, in my opinion, they are holding for a lot higher of a price than $77 a share. Because if they weren't, we would see a lot of these positions get dumped because the stock from the beginning of the quarter was at 9, the end of the quarter it was at 58. That's a huge gain that a lot of these institutions would take, but they didn't. They're holding. So they're typically smarter than a lot of us, or they're deemed smarter than a lot of us because they do this for a living. Now, if the stock's trading at $33 a share and it was just at 58 and they didn't sell at 77 and they think it could go higher, why would they sell here? They wouldn't. It wouldn't be a logical thing to do. What's up with Vlad's call to the NSCC? So what it looked like happened there is when V so Vlad, it looked like he was in a space call. So when we're thinking about what Vlad did with Robinhood, is they owed, I think it was 3 billion at one point in margin to the NSCC for executing a lot of these trades. Somehow they got it down to, I believe, 1.7. And at that point, Robinhood then offered to basically restrict buying on these given securities. And then all of a sudden, they only had to put in 700 million. It makes sense because they're not going to be able to have to execute and basically fill all of these trades and like make sure they're getting filled. But at the same time, it's very different than what he said on the news and in the hearings. So who knows what's going to come of this? I mean, it's very close to perjury, but I don't really know at the current time. Something could come of this, and I'd be very interested to see if he gets into any trouble. Let's see. He sounded nervous. Yeah. Why was Elon Musk on the call? I mean, sometimes they do their space calls. I think when they first came out, they were all in like Clubhouse and space calls. Brad Pitt is going to play the role of STV in the movie they make of the MOAS. Nando, that would be pretty cool. There's a fake Nando. That would be annoying. Oh, there's a fake Nando. He should be in trouble for insider trading when he dumped all of the shares the day of the IPO. Fee, there's a very okay. We're gonna take a look at more Robinhood insider trading right now. For Robinhood employees. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Yep, here it is. Okay, so this is the other thing that Robinhood is getting in trouble with. I'm not subscribing to read more. Here it is. Is this it? Yeah, this looks like it could be. Nope, that's not it. Click the wrong button. So let me see if I can pull this up really quickly. But Robinhood is under investigation for it base. Oh, that's not registered with FINRA. I don't know if I'll be able to find this right now, but here's what happened. There was another lawsuit brought against Robinhood that basically said that they let their employees know ahead of time that they were going to turn off the buy button, and some of their employees made trades based on that information. That is locked and loaded, case closed, insider trading. So that's another thing that Robinhood is dealing with. And I don't think it's like hasn't come time yet for the SEC to have investigated enough to bring a case on what happened in January. The only thing that we've seen so far on what happened in January is class action lawsuits. So that, I mean, yeah, you can get some payout for that, but Robinhood's really not going to get hurt. But if the SEC brings a case against Robinhood for what happened in January, that's going to be big because they've already looked into the insider trading aspect. Let's see. Nepal, thank you so much for the super. Did you see where someone is suing Kenny G? Yes, I did. We did go over that. We're probably going to have to keep going over it too. We just had it up. In my opinion, it's where is it? This one right here. It's really nothing because this is going to take a very long time to play out. And they're probably, if it is going to get settled, it's going to get settled out of court. And in addition to that, is it going to cause the shorts to cover? In my opinion, no. So it's like, okay, well, the lawsuits and the investigations are really only to make sure that this can never happen again. And the complicit parties are like brought to justice. And that can only happen after the squeeze. So any one of these investigations that's happening pre-squeeze, I don't necessarily care about, in my opinion. Like if a person like Wes Christian wants to investigate on his own time, then go for it. Like it only helps us to have more eyes on this, especially from people that have prosecuted cases like this in the past. But do I really care about somebody in Florida bringing an investigation that is, in my opinion, not going to make the shorts cover? No. Discovery can take years, 100%. Does that mean we should sue Ken also? Nepal? No. Wes Christian said SEC investigation can take 15 to 18 months on a fast case. Exactly. So it's going to take a long time anyway. So the fact, if it's going to start, it's just going to be, in my opinion, if it starts after the squeeze, cool. Do whatever you want. We've all gotten paid. We're done. We're out. But if you're going to do it now, it's like it's not helping. It's not hurting. It doesn't really do anything. Let's see. Lawsuit only needs noise for Wes and people to notice the squeeze. I mean, in my opinion, it's not going to cause anybody to cover. What's going to make the shorts cover? Well, there's a lot of things. We don't really know. Like I've said in the past, it's not going to be just one thing or one catalyst that comes out that's going to make the shorts cover their position. It's going to be very similar to what we saw in June, where it's like this perfect storm of technical breakout, gamma squeeze, and then overall market conditions and FOMO buying. But in this next one, I think it's going to be more of an outside event that happens. I think AMC's biggest catalyst that could set it off like that is a disclosure of ownership, very similar to Volkswagen. That's why I compare AMC to Volkswagen, even though they're not the same, but they're close. But if you're going to make comparisons, Volkswagen is more like AMC and GameStop is more like Overstock, because Overstock and GameStop have that ability to do that crypto dividend. AMC doesn't, but they have that disclosure of ownership catalyst, because I haven't really heard of any other stock where it's like, oh yeah, retail and institutions own a crazy high amount over the amount of shares that are legally supposed to be out there. How does disclosure of ownership happen? Well, the institutions can get together and say, well, we own this amount and we know retail owns this amount, but the best chance that we really had was the say vote. But you need every single person to vote on that. The way to really make the say vote work and do that disclosure of ownership is if you leave up that platform for more than a week. We had over 1% of retail investors voting in that. I think it was like 1.2 or 1.4% of all investors voting in that on those questions. If we left that up for an entire quarter or an entire half of a year, I think that would be a decent catalyst, because we could then get up to the point where you then know exactly how many shares could potentially be out there. As soon as it hits over 513 plus the amount of the current amount of shares sold short into the market, because it's kind of like loaning out the same shares and the same people own them, then you know that we're really onto something. But with the statistical analysis that's been done, yeah, it gives us a decent understanding. It's a 99% confidence interval of the range being between like 1 and 5 billion. There's a 1% chance that the actual total amount of shares is outside that range, but it's not concrete, if that makes sense. Margin calls don't mean they have to close positions. They just provide more collateral, which they have trillions from years of doing this. Seabiscuit, yeah, but at the same time, there's other positions. It's not just that one, it's not, they're just owning this one play. They have other positions that are getting over leveraged. They're going against them. It's like this whole big system of margin. Say only worked in the USA. There's a lot of shares offshore, so we would not work either. Here's the other thing, Sean. That's not necessarily true, because if the amount of shares is actually between like 1 and 5 billion, the amount of shares that we could even potentially vote on would get us above that threshold, in my opinion. Let's see. There are millions of shares. Yep. Yeah, I addressed that. Why is the volume so low? There's just less people willing to buy and sell. It's getting really hard to type with these diamond hands. Yeah, I get it. Is the low volume bullish? This is a question that we were getting a lot back in July and June about the volume. Volume doesn't really tell us anything besides the amount of trades that are happening. The other thing is people were saying, oh, we need the volume to go really high in order, and that's going to be what sends us up. Well, we had a couple of days of really high volume where we went down. It's just what buyers and sellers are willing to transact at. Like if one day there's a lot of people willing to sell, but also a lot of people willing to buy, but the sellers are kind of beating out those buyers and they're selling more, they're lowering their ask prices down, 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 and the buyers are not coming in as quickly, but they're still buying, then yeah, we could potentially see high volume, but the price goes down. Already on it. Technically, it's pretty easy. Any data protection and contract lawyer apes, that's the trickier part. David, there you go. We need zero volume. Does volume show trades in the dark pool? I mean, it wouldn't really. It hmm. It should, I think. If we all had diamond hands, the volume should go to zero if fake shares weren't being created. Well, yeah. Can someone explain how Citadel makes money pushing the stock down aside from pushing out the squeeze timeline? Do they open put options, borrow? Okay, Keith, puts are literally just insurance on an existing stock position. That's how you got to think about it because puts give you the right to sell a certain amount of stocks on or before a specified date at a certain price. So if they give you the right to sell, it's just insuring your position. They just cover. Paper hands keep paper handing. It doesn't matter because there's other people buying those shares. It's not the shorts. Like, look at the short interest over the last couple of weeks and months just based on the exchange. June 9th, 20, June 24th, little bit of covering went down to 16. July 12th came down to 14, but then July 26th, 15. August 10th, 16.79. Like the short interest is continuing to go up, which means that they're not covering. They might be covering some, but they're also adding to their short positions. Can you explain the Brazil thing more? I still don't understand who is holding the AMC shares that the BDRs represent or how it's possible that they have that many. It's not. It's like a clone of it's like a clone of AMC shares in a different market. So it matches up with what AMC should be in this market, but those people wouldn't have voting rights. And here's the other thing: you got to think about it. If you're buying a Chinese stock, this is the best example: Alibaba in the United States. When you buy Alibaba on our exchange, you're not buying actual shares of Alibaba. You're buying those American depository receipts or the American depository securities. They're not real shares. We don't have 100% of the flow. Institutions, non-apes, high-frequency traders buy and sell, maintaining liquidity. TMI's avocado, that's possible, but at the same time, if there are that many shares out there, it's very possible that retail and institutions own more than that amount. So nobody knows. It's something that people don't know. Yeah, Brazil has that 6-1. Yep. So it's not. So how do I own a real share of Neo? You don't. Ingrid, very good question. What would happen if we requested our physical shares? I believe you're asking about stock certificates. For AMC, they do not offer stock certificates anymore, paper stock certificates. That was the old system, and now it is in something called the book entry system, and it's all electronic and held by the DTCC. And I was looking into this, how we would request it. You really can't right now. It's like this weird process. Like I was just going to go and try to do it one day to see if it was going to work. I think this was back in April when I was going to try to do this. And it's like, yeah, you can't really do it. Let's see. Just got to stay patient. This can't go on forever. It will come to a head sooner or later. Patience will lead to patience. 100%. Wouldn't that make it easier to count? Okay, I'll show you guys. This is not it. Here we go. The book entry method, I'll just pull it up. Book entry is a method of tracking ownership of securities where no physically engraved certificate is given to investors. Securities are tracked electronically rather than in paper form, allowing investors to trade or transfer securities without having to present a paper certificate as proof of ownership. When an investor purchases a security, they receive a receipt and the information is stored electronically. Book entry securities are settled by the DTCC. An investor receives a statement providing evidence of ownership instead of a stock certificate. Dividend payments, interest payments, and cash or stock payments due to a reorganization are processed by the DTC and transferred to the appropriate investment bank or broker to deposit in the account of the securities holder. And that is the system that AMC is on. But remember, if it's all electronic, they're messing with it. A Bandy said if you switch to Fidelity, they need to send the real shares. I don't think so. Nando says STV is better than college. I don't know about that. Let's see. Kyle. Where are all these magical shares coming from? I mean, it's the way that a lot of these like synthetic or counterfeit shares are created is due to one, the market makers engaging in that legal version of naked shorting, which creates a failure to deliver, or it's the prime brokerage operations that think that they can get their hands on shares when in reality they can't. And then that creates another naked short. And there's also those synthetic short positions where you sell a call, buy a put, and I think you buy a bond as well. And it has to be in a very specific scenario when the put call parity is kind of out of whack. And that's in an SEC document that they know it's possible that, and then it creates a synthetic short position. And FINRA is actually trying to, we can pull that up too. FINRA is actually trying to increase the reporting on this, which is, if that goes through, that's going to be awesome. Here it is. All right. So here's this FINRA report where the comment period expired on August 4th, but the FINRA has extended the comment period to September 30th. Of course they did. When we come down a little bit further, synthetic short positions. In addition, FINRA is considering requiring firms to reflect synthetic short positions in short interest reports. For example, enhanced short interest reporting could include synthetic short positions achieved through the sale of a call option and a purchase of a put option where the options have the same strike and expiration month, or through other strategies. FINRA believes this information would assist FINRA in understanding the scope of market participants' short sale activity, specifically regarding the use of less traditional means of establishing short interest. I don't think a lot of people know that this is coming. Would blockchain help to authenticate shares if used? Yes, because it would be very hard because it would be all public knowledge posted to the blockchain. Yeah, blind spot, you're 100% correct. Do I understand that right? Brazil exchange and German exchange are like an ETF in the Caymans for Chinese stocks, so that ETF has to buy and sell actual Havana. I don't think so. When T plus 45? I don't know what you're talking about there. What's up, McGee? How many digits do you really think the price will get to? Nobody knows. Been trying to transfer out of Robinhood and holding me hostage. Vlad's selling synthetics again. And while anyone, David, you should just be able to transfer right out if you already have an account. Let's see. Hey, Vix, well, how will we ever squeeze if they short us every time there's a potential gamma squeeze? Bulls have no power during these weeks. AMC popcorn, that's a very interesting situation. If the shorts were able to hold us down and manipulate the stock in the way that a lot of people think that they can, we never would have gone to these really low levels all the way up to 77. It just wouldn't have happened. So when we see these really important opportunities, especially on these monthly options expiration dates, yeah, it's good. But at the same time, when we look for the potential for the next gamma squeeze, it's not really this week. Like it is. Like we do have a lot at 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and then 40. But when we come out to the September expiration date, which is the next monthly, there is a boatload already at 40, a bunch at 45, 50, 60, 90, and then when we come down, there's almost 61,000 at 145. So a lot of people have been saying like the technicals and the chart patterns are setting up very similar to what we saw in mid-May going into June. So if it were to be very similar, then over the next 2 weeks, we would expect to see a lot of bullish price movement. But at the same time, you can't necessarily use those past events in order to guarantee the future. Just curious as to why everyone says I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Because if you are not a financial advisor, you cannot legally give financial advice. Blows my mind that each share doesn't have a unique ID to track. Hopefully, the regulations to earmark shares will help that. But damn, that's really irresponsible. Seabiscuit, you're spot on. Let's see. Hold on. Let me check something out real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys are confused about on how to open those new accounts or the transfers, like Google. I don't know how to initiate transfers at Robinhood to another brokerage because I've never done it. I don't have a Robinhood account. I'm so smooth brain. Today I learned what the VIX is. There you go. Learning something new every day. Let's see. Just interested to know when the shorts for hedge funds actually turn positive and give them return. We can actually take a look at that. So estimated, where is it? Average days on loan is about, what is it? Average days on loan, 47 days. So if you go back 47 days ago, again, there's averaging down. So the averages are going to be a little bit higher. But 47 days ago is like, I don't know, right around here. So in this $8 to $14 range, let's say they've averaged down or averaged up. Let's say average down into their cost basis in their position, but it's like inverse because it's a short. That now their average is in the 15s to 20s for their short position. So maybe when it gets down to there, they would be in the green. But at the same time, if they were to get it to that point, they'd probably just start to cover. And again, I highly doubt that they're going to be able to push it that low. People need to get out of options and get shares, not financial advice, not even good advice. Kona, one, probably don't tell other people to do with their money. And I think there's a lot of, honestly, a lot of FUD being spread around with options. Yeah, there's two sides to it. It's either going to give liquidity to the institutions that are selling them, or it's going to add fuel to the fire for these upward price movements. Without options, June would have never happened, or we wouldn't have gone as high. So you got to think about it from both ways. You can't have one without the other. You can't have options be bad and not have them also be good and help in some cases. So in this case, would you say that you're long the VIX? I mean, yesterday I was. That was fun. But here's the thing. With the market right now, with that little dip off of the Fed tapering news, and we look at this on like a 1 month time, or a 3 month, we had a little bit of a dip. But at the same time, we bounced, and I think we're going to keep bouncing until the next big event happens, and that's going to be starting September 1st. We're going to see that big upsurge in margin calls surrounding the OTC derivatives. And then in October, we could see this debt ceiling situation really start to ramp up, which could then lead to a default. And not a default, it could lead to a default, but I don't think the United States is going to. What could happen is they get their credit rating downgraded, and that is right here. This is the last credit rating downgrade, and that is 136 on the SPY all the way down to about 106. That is a big drop. So if we were to get one of those credit downgrades, wouldn't be so good for the market. TMI's avocado saw a 1100% return on a VIXY play. Woohoo! Is it VIX's birthday today? Happy birthday? No, I wish it was. Where's my birthday candle? There it is. VIX, you should talk about the worst case scenarios. I mean, I've talked about it before. I don't really want. I mean, tonight's probably not the best time to do that, especially after a red day. Just, I mean, everybody kind of knows what the worst case scenarios. Worst case scenarios is it gets drawn out forever and people lose interest. That's the worst case scenario. Do I think that's going to happen? I really don't think so. I think people are really in this for life changing money, and they're not going to sell. Citi wants us to sell so they can buy. I mean, they don't have a big position. It's like 60 something thousand shares. The idea of taxes is dead. I disagree. ASV, do you YouTubers have an unwritten law about who can live stream when? Seems like Matt, don't call him that, has the monopoly on the stream during the good periods. I'd like to see yourself or TMI do it. Okay, the one thing is that if like Matt's on, which he was there first, him and Trey were there first, so it's their spot. It's not like you're not going to see it. That's the thing. It's just they're so big that it's like, okay, well, if they come on, it's like nobody's going to see us. But I like the night streams. It's a lot more fun. Could we see AMC drop to 25? It could, but if it does, I think everybody's just going to buy that dip up. And they've tried in the past and they haven't been able to get it there. So I don't see how they're going to be able to get it that low. It's possible. But I think if that does happen, institutions are going to pile in, retail is going to pile in. In the dip to 25, if it were to happen, would not be very long. It would be very short-lived. What percentage would we be taxed? Right now, it would be at your ordinary income rate, which only if you've been holding for less than a year. If it's over a year, it's just long-term capital gains. But that rate could be changing. I believe long-term is between 15 and 20 right now, but I'm not sure. Don't spend your whole day on this. It's fun, but I like the way y'all do it. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. You mean I could get more shares for a huge discount? Cool. Yep. Oh, what's up, Ben Levine? Let's see. TMI with the pregame, Matt with the morning, TMI again for the halftime show, Matt to finish us out, and back to TMI for the postgame wrap up, then STV and friends for the after party. That's what it's going to be like. Your voice sounds a lot deeper live than in your videos. Yeah, I've told people I don't actually talk like that. Hey, Vix, was this the 14 million shares today? Jack, awesome question. So last week, I believe, there was one day where 14 million shares went out on loan. And me, TMI, and I think a lot of just everybody who saw that were saying, when are they going to use that? When are they going to try to use that against us? It was within the last week. So we saw up, pretty much flat, and then down today. It is very possible that they held those 14 million shares until today to use to short us. Very possible. They were just waiting for a good opportunity to kind of come in towards the top of this little run, short us. But again, if they kind of blew their load early, then like we could see some more price movement to the upside, because we've seen 0 shares to borrow on iBroker. So not iBroker desk. It's what do you call it? International. Wow, Interactive Brokers. I always forget their name. So it's possible that we see less shares available to borrow at some brokers, which makes it hard for these institutions to get their hands on shares. But at the same time, they still could get their hands on shares from other spots. Oh, everybody's laughing now. That's not enough for 14 million though. They're probably saving it for power hour tomorrow as well. Mike, very true. I do think they used a decent amount of those 14 million today because remember, we ripped up all the way to 36. And look at the volume on these red candles. This is 3.3 million. That's a lot of volume on this 5-minute candle. This one, 1.6. This one, 2. This big one right here, 417,000, couple 100,000 more, million here, 600,000 here. What's this one? 400. So that's a lot of selling volume that is coming in when we see these big red candles. And from options, don't hate on options. Like that whole options are bad thing needs to stop. Because you can't have one side of it. It's not one-sided. When they borrow a share, is there a time frame for when they have to use them? Crispy, no, I don't believe so. They just have to pay the borrow fee rates. GME got beat up too. Did they use some of those shares on them? No. So the shares that got loaned out were AMC shares. So they could only use those shares against AMC. Math's not wrong. Not looking at all numbers and scenarios legally, they can contour to short a little longer, but the industry is prepping, I think is what you mean. No time frame, STV, correct. Yep, 100%. Let's see. No, I'm saying, can't they buy shares through options? Oh, yeah. Okay, so when you have an options contract, especially a call, only a call, it gives you the right to buy. So when call options go in the money and you have to hedge those in order to not get completely blown out, like say you have a $40 strike and the stock runs to 500. And you haven't hedged that sold call, you would then have to go out and buy shares at 500 and sell them at 40. So you buy a bunch of shares around that $40 price in order to make sure that you have shares in order to deliver them if the stock ends up running up. So it's kind of creating like a covered call position for these institutions. So that adds to the buying volume, which is why we see these gamma squeezes. Yeah, if you guys want to know about how options are great, just ask Fuzzy. I think they were using puts today. Every time the price started to climb, they started crushing the ask. I was watching it in real time. Look at the volume. Beats by Jay, yeah, but at the same time, when you think about puts, I think you're on the right track here. So yeah, you're on the right track. When the stock starts to go down, more puts start running in the money, and in order to hedge those puts, you have to short the stock. Now, when the calls run out of the money, so that's the same thing that's happening. It's the puts run in the money, the calls run out of the money. But if a lot of calls have just run in the money and you have bought shares to cover those calls, well, you don't necessarily need those shares anymore in order to hedge that sold call position. So then you can sell off those shares. So you have shorting and selling at the same time, along with the other institutions shorting too. So it's this double whammy, but it works to the downside the same way that it works to the upside. Puts run out of the money, they buy back those short-term shorts. The calls run in the money, they buy shares. We have FOMO buying coming in, and it pushes the stock price up. So it's it ping pongs the stock around. How do you feel about NSCC 2021-010, August 24th? I believe that's when the comment period ends, but I'm not sure. But at the same time, it just allows for more of a controlled fire sale. So it's trying to mitigate the risk to the market from fire sales. So, and one of the reasons for that is because of what happened with Archegos and Viacom and Discovery. When they were over leveraged on Viacom, and you look and see what happened to their share price, it went from 100 about all the way down to 39. That is a 61% drop, and we're looking at this on a 4-hour chart. It's probably even more. And that was due to the Archegos being massively over leveraged on Viacom, having to sell off their Viacom position really quickly, hence a fire sale, and it crashed the stock. So what they're trying to avoid is that since everybody's over leveraged right now, Now, most likely, there's a lot of other institutions out there that have similar leverage levels that Archegos had, that when the market starts to potentially freak out, say we have a 10% drop. Well, if the market drops 10%, the individual stocks are going to fall most likely even more. So then that's going to really ramp up these margin calls. And if you don't have the liquidity in order to basically deposit more collateral and maintain these positions, you just get closed out of them. And that's a lot of selling volume from not only just one institution like Archegos, but many of them. So the sell-offs could get even more aggressive. And that's why that 010 rule is good for the market. And it also helps us out with the squeeze too. Out of the money isn't even the problem. If you made money on the premium and it's out of the money, that's still fine too. Ben, you're 100% correct. Unhedging will do more damage. Now, thoughts? Yeah, it's possible because what we saw was these 38s were in the money. So that's 30, 38, 48, nope, 58, and basically 70. So that is potentially, let's call it 3 million shares that needed to get purchased due to these deltas right here. 3 million shares. So if those shares no longer need to be held by these institutions to maintain that like directionally neutral status, then they're going to sell them off. And it's algorithms. Like there's not just some dude like me sitting there at a desk being like, "Oh, what's our options exposure that we've sold? What are the deltas that we need to hedge," and then they enter into a trade and buy those shares. It's not happening like that. It's all algorithms that are just cranking out and making sure that they stay within a certain range of being directionally neutral on these options that they've sold. And again, when those options run deep in the money, that they keep buying because like look here, these 22s have a delta of 0.99, so they have to buy all of these shares, basically all of these shares, and they keep going, but they only have to buy about half of the 34s if they run in the money. Oh, no, it was this, and I hit this too. Guys, I would tell you. I told you guys about my Fenway Park experience. I feel like if I did it on stream, I would just be like, yeah, guys, had to let it out. But no, you guys heard something. I think I hit something over here. Or was this? Oh, or moving my chair around. Yeah, if I did, I would just tell you. I don't really care. It happens. Yeah, I tell you guys when I okay, let's do it again. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I would just tell you, Aiko sucks. uh, will we see new all-time high by September 9th? We will see new all-time high by September 9th. Mark my words, says Tom. That would be awesome. Fuzzy and Ernie, I'm both hoping that your predictions are correct. I didn't. Like, I would just tell you guys, like, I don't care. I have no shame. I would just be like, yeah, guys, I did it. Let's see. See, now I'm gonna have to get away from the chat because that's all you guys are talking about now. Freaking crazy people. But what do you think is in store for AMC next week? Next week, nothing crazy on the options right now, and that makes sense, especially for a weekly options expiration period right after a week where it's a monthly options expiration period. So if people were buying options a while ago and they wanted an expiration date that they wanted to come in on, most likely they were going to buy these August dates. They're not going to buy the weekly that happens after August. So the next time that we're going to see these pileups is going to be in September. And the next big one after that is going to be January. Don't we have some rules coming into play next week, like increased margin requirements? Yeah, it's very possible, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. Like it just feeds into this liquidity drain that we already know is happening. And we know these institutions are not happy about it. Let's see. I did. Why are you guys going off on this right now? Personally, I'm looking towards seeing what GME has going on its earnings. Ooh, Seabiscuit. A lot of people are speculating that on GME's earnings, they could announce that crypto dividend. Little speculation there, but if they're going to announce something and they said that it was supposed to be ready by July 14th and it's going to be like 2 months later, maybe they have something in store. We did get a lot of really good information, although it was fundamental news on AMC's earnings call with that Warner Brothers deal, the potential future partnership with GameStop. I think GameStop is going to have some very interesting things to say in their earnings call. And I think, yeah, when is GameStop earnings? Let me look. I thought it was beginning of September. Probably not confirmed yet. Q2. Let's see. Right here, it says next GME earnings date. GameStop is expected to announce earnings between September 9th and September 10th, 2021. The company has not announced a date yet, and the estimate is based on historical earnings dates. So we don't know for sure yet that it's going to be September 9th or 10th, but that's probably going to be around where it is, give or take a week. Would you be offended if I waited to short the VIX when it gets to 30? Not at all. I don't. You guys can do whatever you want with your money. Kyle says made 2,000 on Cardano this week. More ammo for AMC. Kyle, there you go. Some people are saying the 3 billion on Bloomberg is actually in a different currency that adds up to the flow correctly. CBR, you're correct. It does. So it does. It's not. It's not exposing synthetics. Hello, Jeremy. AME crushed it and the stock went down. No, it didn't. It ripped the next day and then went down. Or it was way up and then came back down after earnings. They attacked really hard, which made sense. We were, I mean, I was trying to do my best to prepare everybody for that, but we kind of knew that they were going to attack on earnings. Also, just seeing what they did with expectations. Any good news for GME would be great, especially if they have another run up before again. Absolutely. I'd love to see a video of someone going over other short squeezes besides Volkswagen and Overstock. I've seen some crazy high prices on some stocks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure DGAS, DGAS, before it was delisted. I also think this was at Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse is notorious for making these like big boo-boos, especially with Archegos. And I think it was DGAS too, where it's this oil ETF. I think it was the inverse natural gas or oil. I'm not sure which one it was, but they forgot to delist it and then it just ripped. SEV, do the rules coming out on the first, in your opinion, will they help the short squeeze as much as we're hoping? Eric, I think the UMR phase 5 is going to be very important, but it's going to take some time to really come into effect. Let me look. Are you ready for uncleared margin rules? This is what Eric's referring to right here. So when we look at this, this is where the margin calls are going to start skyrocketing. During his opening remarks, DTCC's Bob Stewart, this is a very important individual, Executive Director, Product Management for Institutional Trade Processing, discussed the impact of Phase 5 uncleared margin rules for over-the-counter derivatives, which kicks in on September 1st. I believe this Phase 5 was supposed to come into effect last year. It got delayed. Now was supposed to be Phase 6, but they're delayed it. So now this is Phase 5. But the next sentence right here, there will be an upsurge. That didn't work. There will be an upsurge in the volume of margin calls and an increase for the need for third-party custodians to keep safe collateral. As a result, UMR will likely require many buy-side firms to make significant changes to their existing collateral management processes. So, yeah, over-the-counter derivatives. What is that? Let's take a look exactly what an OTC derivative is, because it's not the pink sheet stocks that you think it is. Like the OTC market is usually like these BS, sometimes biotech companies that aren't on like the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. But OTC derivatives, it sounds like it would refer to those, but it isn't. So when we take a look at what an OTC derivative is, an OTC derivatives is a financial contract that does not trade on an asset exchange. It can be tailored to each party's needs. So, over the counter derivatives are private financial contracts established between two or more counterparties. Now, typically it's just two, but these unclear margin rules are basically saying you need to have a third party in there. So, you two, the two institutions entering into this agreement, are not messing around and saying, no, it's good. We can do whatever we want. In contrast, listed derivatives, yada yada yada, over the counter derivatives are instead private contracts that are negotiated between counterparties without going through an exchange. So there's no like regulator in this. But now with these margin rules that could potentially be coming in on September 1st, there's going to be the need for that third party custodian. Examples of OTC derivatives include forwards, swaps, exotic options, among others. So exotic options, interesting. Those are the flex options I believe that Randall was talking about in his videos, which if you guys don't know who Randall is, definitely go check him out. Randall Cornett on YouTube. And then there was this OTC derivatives. Oh, yeah. Then we have to look at the total derivative exposure to just see how big this situation could be with these margin calls potentially coming into play. Let's see, 168. Uh-oh. Are we good? Are we good? I just shorted myself. Hold up. Are we good? Wait. I think it's not on my screen. There we go. This is awkward. Whoops. I think I hit the power button. All right, we're back now. Yeah, if you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, I just shorted myself. So if we had an STV ticker, I just accidentally hit the short button rather than the sell buy button. That's what happened there. You look goofy. Yeah, yeah. I hit the power button and it just whoops. So my screen popped up and I think my name popped up too. And I was like, oh no, that's bad. But we're good now. Okay, so back to what we were trying to do with the amount of derivative exposure. So for brief recap, after I shorted myself, not sharded, shorted, these OTC derivatives are like these private contracts between two counterparties. This new rule is going to add a third person into that to basically act as like a babysitter to make sure nobody's going crazy. Now, when we see how big this derivative problem actually is, the US banking system has a $168 trillion nightmare looming. It was ignored in written testimony for today's Senate banking hearing. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and Bank of America, all companies that we've been talking about a lot on this channel, account for $168 trillion of the total derivative exposure, and the total derivative exposure is $188 trillion. So we can see that the uptick in margin calls is going to go. It's like we don't know that all of these are OTC derivatives, but with the size of them, you're not going to be able to enter into these types of derivative contracts unless you're trading them OTC. They're just huge. You're going to need another big bank counterparty. Officially hit 10,000 shares, but low key need to start investing in other stocks. McSlipple, yeah, do whatever you want. STV lost his OnlyFans account, so now he's gonna be hustling the market. There's always Craigslist. Yeah. What would your ticker symbol be? STV. Only apes, brilliant. That would be funny. Yeah, sorry about those technical difficulties, guys. I hit the power button on my. I don't want to touch it again. I don't want to go anywhere near it. But on my keyboard, I hit the power button and it just shorted itself. But thank you to all of you guys who stuck with me through that disaster. Eyebrow game on fleek. Thank you. I don't do them. I just have eyebrows. To join Only Apes, you got to verify your shares. Yeah, but then everybody's gonna think it's like Savo. STD. No, the last letter is a V. You most wanted the VIX? No. Yeah, so I mean, I went long the VIX yesterday. And then I was messing around with puts on the VIX today. So that's kind of where we're at here. But yeah, let's do a little Ortex update because it probably changed a little bit. Yep. Okay. So the Ortex update did change. We now have a net borrow of AMC instead of the small net return of now 68,000 shares borrowed against. The current short interest is now 18.02%. And the estimated current short interest, so shares sold short into the market, 92.15 million. Utilization, 90.97. That's going to update in the morning. Percent of free float on loan, 20.65%. And that's kind of where we're at. Phil's Crib says a wait on other stocks because when MOAS hits, it's going to make them fall some. Yeah, it's very possible. Trey Spider, I did not sharp myself. That's not what happened. Let's see. Did I miss anything during that disaster? That close up though, yeah. Squeeze might start after hours or pre-market, but it would take much longer to cover all of the shares, says Seasbiscuit. Yeah, 100%. SCV, did you hear about Toys R Us is coming back to life and merging with Macy's? I did not hear about that. That's very interesting. Dude, everybody has shares of STD, so super long. Algo, there you go. All right, now everybody's saying wild stuff. But yeah, so just a brief recap on the lawsuit that's being brought against where is it? This one. Ken Griffin, personally, Citadel, the market maker, Citadel Connect the Dark Pool, Citadel the hedge fund, the SEC, FINRA, DTCC, Robinhood, and Webull. I don't really see a lot of importance to this because it doesn't help us. Like, I don't think it's going to be a squeeze catalyst. And I think that these like legal proceedings are really going to have an effect after the squeeze. Like after this plays out, the SEC is going to really work on making this case completely bulletproof, go after the people they can, make it so that this can never happen again. And then we're back. And then the Brazil thing, it's been debunked. There's that 6 times multiplier that when you mess around with the shares, you divide it back. It's basically the same amount. And you got to think of it like buying a Chinese stock in the United States. You're buying American depository receipts or American depository shares. So that doesn't necessarily, you don't have an actual share of, let's say, Alibaba or Neo. You don't have one. Nando said to make eye contact next time you have technical difficulties. I didn't even know. I thought I just completely clapped the stream and it was just gone. Or you could still see my screen and then that was it. Is AMC dark pool still enabled during AMC squeeze? If so, can they still F us? The dark pool still affects the price. And yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. In 2008, I believe, let me see. Let's see. Okay, so in 2008, if there's a major market event, the SEC halts short selling of financial stocks to protect investors in markets. This was September 19th, 2008. Here's the other thing. September 19th, 2008, that was right around the time that Volkswagen squeezed too. So if we do see a major market event and they turn off the ability to short, then these positions could start going against them on AMC. This is just another squeeze catalyst that if we do see this major market event that a lot of people are calling for, I mean, I've been talking about it. I don't know when it's going to happen or the magnitude that it's going to go to, but I do think that if something's going to happen, it's going to be in Q4. So in addition, if they do turn off shorting in the U.S. markets, then that is going to be another catalyst. But we're just going to have to wait and see that if a major market event happens, what do they do? September 19th, 2021. No, this is September 19th, 2008. It says 2008 2-1 run right here, but September 19th, 2008. I don't have an article from the future. What is the billion shares? Is it legit? So when we're thinking about the billion shares from the say vote, the 99% confidence interval said between 1 billion and 5 billion shares. The Brazil thing is not proof of synthetics. It's very possible that they're repackaging all of these synthetics, dumping them overseas. I've heard this theory a couple of times that that's what's happening in this new memorandum of understanding. Is going to provide more transparency to that so you could track it more. But again, the Brazil thing and Bloomberg basically showing us that is not telling us proof of synthetics. Let's see. SSR will change for tomorrow. Oh, did we trip SSR today? I don't think we did. No, the trigger price was 32.90. So we're not on SSR. ADR and BDR. Yeah, anytime. How many times can a stock be halted in a day? Won't numerous halts in a day slow down Gamma or MOAS? Nando, the halts are just going to happen. Like they're built into the way the market works. If the stock does a certain percentage move in a certain percent of time, it's going to get halted for a given period of time. It's just going to happen. And we're going to see a lot of them when AMC starts squeezing. And I don't want anybody to really freak out about that because it's not necessarily it's not like a bad thing at all. It's just a break. Oh, Aaron, you're good. Vic, so interesting. You see squeeze in Q4, not January. Jack, I'm not talking about the squeeze. I'm talking about like a market event due to all of the different like economic things just getting tossed out in Q4. We have those uncleared margin calls September 1st. We have debt ceiling. We have inflation. We have those potential eviction moratoriums. We have spending going down, home prices coming down. We have deleveraging happening. So there's a lot of things that are coming to fruition in Q4. So something could happen. It could not, and it could just get delayed because the Fed doesn't want something to really happen again. Fuzzy, thank you so much for the super. Shout out to all of you guys who send in those supers. It really means a lot. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to keep doing what we do. So thank you guys so much. Market equals red, super chat equals green. Any logo ideas? If not, I can draft some up for you in TMI to print and send to you. I'm doing that anyway. Take the 5. Fuzzy, thank you. TMI and I are working on it. We do have a logo right now for the podcast. We're not sure if we want to change it yet, but we do definitely want to send you our ideas. So thank you so much. We can't let them get past January 1st. I mean, we can't really, it's not like this whole like control thing. Like if we were to be able to control it like they would, we would just get popped for collusion right away. Like it just wouldn't work out so well. It's very possible that the next giant leg up is the one that causes a lot more shorts to cover, and it could happen before January. But again, nobody really knows. Do market alts happen for a specific predetermined period of time? Yeah, let's pull it up. Let's see. I don't really trust this site. Trading halt. Okay. Volatility halts are single stock circuit breaker halts that trigger 5-minute halts on fast price spikes or drops that exceed the acceptable trading price range ATPR for 15 seconds. The ATPR is calculated as the average price of the previous 5-minute trading period. So they're 5 minutes. I'm a new ape, bought in Wednesday at 37. My luck, next day it drops to 33. We need to squeeze. Yo. If you've been in since Wednesday and you're all already calling for the squeeze to happen and getting tired, oh boy, do I have a story for you. We've been at this for a while. We've seen lots of price drops, lots of price increases, lots of trading sideways. And at this point, it's a lot of updates on what's happening, and we're just waiting for this to kick off. Why can't MOAS happen after January 1st? Do we have something against paying less taxes? TMI's avocado. I don't have anything uh, about paying. I don't have anything against paying taxes or paying less taxes. Let's see. Are we seeing a point of consolidation at 30? Like, do we see it dipping below or it's starting to maintain the 30 line? New to this, appreciate all you do. Yeah, we've seen a couple of breaks under 30, but they're very short lived. And then we'll just bounce right back up. Like, we can pull up the chart right here over the last month. Where's 30? Right around here. So this line right here would be 30. So we've seen two dips below 30. And both of them, we bounced right back up. Shimu, GameStop didn't necessarily squeeze. It was more of like a gamma squeeze and then a giant FOMO rally. Like the FOMO rally for GameStop, I think was even more aggressive than it was for AMC. Like everybody and their mother was buying GameStop, or had their eyes on GameStop. Like very similar to what happened to AMC in June. But I think because it was so fresh in everybody's mind that these types of price movements could happen, and this is kind of what's been going on in our markets, that people were just excited, especially coming off of the pandemic, and people were like low on money. They might have been struggling and they saw an opportunity to really make a bunch of money. I think a lot more people were piling into that FOMO rally on GameStop, and that could have been one of the reasons why GameStop got all the way up to as high as it did. But I still think GameStop has just as much potential for AMC to squeeze. Do volatility halts allow for the RSI to cool, or does the RSI start where it left off? Robert, it should start where it left off because there's no trades happening. Andrew thinks AMC will be bigger than GameStop. Yeah, it's possible. One of them is going to be bigger than the other when they squeeze. That's just going to happen. Where's TMI? He'll be coming in a little bit, I think. I just sent them the link. Yeah. Also, what about the price glitches of AMC, aka the price being higher than we see? In my opinion, those are just what you said. They're glitches. Nobody has provided any concrete proof that AMC is trading at some mysteriously high price on some like second book. Anybody like our community is so big that we've seen a lot of people like actually go and look and see what the prices are trading at in these different dark pools, and it's the same every time. And I've shown you guys in the past that alternative display facility and what the percentage away from the NBBO that those trades can take place. And the highest is 30%, but that 30% number doesn't apply to AMC. So it's around 20%. So even with that, it can't be those crazy high prices. There is some great energy in this chat. The hodl is strong. Don't let the hedgy stress y'all out. If you need, take us and relax for the day. Aaron, agreed. Agreed. Halt is a means for hedgies to freak out and think of their next moves under the guise of controlling market safety. Yeah, it's basically a way for the big boys to reposition themselves. Yeah, Hella Bliss, there's not really, you can't fake squeeze it. Thank you so much for your support and reassurance. Much needed and appreciated. Joan, anytime. New emojis look cool. Huh. Interesting. I just wish AMC would give us a 1 cent dividend per share. We would know instantly how many shares are out there. Yeah, so RMA Studio, if you listen closely to Adam Aron's remarks in the earnings call, he said that he was going to be able to pay off a lot of the debt within the next, but like by a year from now, a lot of the debt would be paid off, even with the money that they have right now. So if they are able to do that, then they could consider offering a dividend. But that I don't think is really in the cards for AMC until way down the road. For GameStop, it could happen a lot sooner than we think, and it may not even have to come from AMC to help out with AMC's squeeze. It could be GameStop squeezes, it causes AMC to squeeze too, and that's a wrap. Because when we look and see, oh, this is Viacom still, but let's look at GameStop. BME. What happened to GameStop in June? End of May, GameStop was trading at 180, went all the way up to 344 again, almost a double. So when AMC rips up due to their big gamma squeeze and FOMO rally, GameStop came with us. So if GameStop is going to have a really significant price rally, then AMC should follow suit and come up as well. That's kind of the trend that we've seen. Oh, what's up, Vegas? Hedge fund repo, let's go. Yeah, I made a joke last night about how we were going to repossess a lot of these over leveraged shorts assets after. Oh, I have a funny picture to share with you guys. Let me see if I can send it. I'm going to see if I can email this to myself. I was going to tweet this out, and it's hilarious. I took a picture today. It was like, I'll read you this sign that I found. I was like leaving CVS, and there was a sign outside of it. And I was like, this would be perfect for everybody. Where is it? Where is the picture? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is what the sign says. It says, developer to avoid bankruptcy, forced auction. This is literally what the sign says right here. Lamborghini, Picassos, fine jewelry, Rolexes, call to reserve, limited social distance seating, and it's just auctioning off these just crazy like these just crazy things. Oh, Ben, you just sent me something? Let me see what we got. When was this? Oh, we have a Ryan Cohen tweet, and it's like a shorts thing. I don't know if I can pull that up, but that's funny. Thank you, Ben, for sending that in. This lady comes into my store and has the initials AMC and just got it tatted. It was awesome. Nepal, that's crazy. Honestly, why don't we all work together to get the price up? I know that's manipulation, right? So we can't do that. Yeah, no, because we will go to jail and they can stay out of jail. Shorts, no ammo. So will the mid cap move on the 30th help with the price action? It's possible. I've also seen people say that they have to buy 5% of all of the outstanding or the 5% of the company, but I haven't been able to personally verify that on MSCI's websites. I just saw that one Reddit post that said 5%, and I haven't seen it verified anywhere else. I looked. I didn't look too hard. I just kind of was searching around. But if anybody has proof that they have to buy that much of AMC, that also goes along with the disclosure of ownership portion of what we were talking about for a potential reason for AMC to have their squeeze. Ben, thank you so much for that super chat. Ryan Cohen, shorts have no ammo in the GIF format, man. Wild speculation happening everywhere right now. Oh boy, let me look at some of these comments. Don't mess with the Cohen. Oh, these are nuts. Let me put the link to this tweet in the chat so you guys can go look at it as well. So this is the link to the tweet that Ben sent me. Is Trey and Ryan's tweet? Is he? That would be cool. And I'm watching it right now. I don't see him anywhere. I see like the Ryan Cohen face on it. No, that's Ryan Cohen again. That's still Ryan Cohen. Yeah, I think it's just Ryan Cohen. Yeah, no. That's a cool tweet, though. The Zohan wearing short shorts. There you go. Yeah, the short shorts. Exactly. STV, do you think some of the fear of this not happening before January is because AMC is able to issue more shares in January 2022? Is that something to worry about? Portland, they actually can't. So that proposal, AMC only has 46,000 shares that they can offer right now, and they didn't get the approval to increase the authorized share capital by, I believe, 25 million it was. So they can't offer 25 million shares because we didn't approve that. So they only have 46,000 shares that they can offer. AMC going to start a lawsuit? No. No, no, no. Everybody was talking about this new lawsuit that somebody in Florida is bringing against Ken Griffin, Citadel the market maker, Citadel the hedge fund, Citadel Connect, the SEC, DTCC, FINRA, Robinhood, and Webull. I don't think it's a big deal, and I don't think it's going to be a squeeze catalyst, but it's a really good find at the same time. I just don't think it's going to be the reason why we take off. I thought they were able to do that in 2022. No, we were going to have to approve them to be able to do that in 2022, and they took that off. So they don't. That's a good question, though. As always, thanks for your time, STV Collective Risk. Thanks for coming in here. Why is there a fake Nando? History shows major market events in October. Fake Nando, what do you call it? You're saying some good things, but what did I just watch in that Ryan Cohen tweet? I don't know, man. People are going crazy about it, though. Moo has bad heartburn. Ooh, that stinks. In the image on Reddit, it shows the plaintiff and the defendant. Did you see that? Yeah, I have it right here. Plaintiff, Donahue George, defendant, Ken, Citadel, and then there's this screenshot here where they spelled counterfeit wrong. The reason for this lawsuit is selling counterfeit shares. This is just part of it, I'm guessing, because they only list the defendants as Ken Griffin, Citadel LLC. So there's probably more images of this out there, like different ones. Yeah, Zohan's good. I've seen that one. I live in Florida. Could be me, apes. Could be. Bank Panic of 1907, the stock market crash of 1929, Black Monday 1987, VW squeeze all happened in October. I believe the VW squeeze started in September. Coincidence that AA will start unloading shares for retirement? I think not. Ooh, Nando. Ooh. I mean, it is his birthday, I believe. Like his birthday is in September, so that's a correlation causation situation there. But I do believe that if something's going to happen, it would come towards the end of this year. Let's see what happens. I'm personally, if I'm going to make a trade based on a big market event, it's going to be bonds, volatility, gold, and something else. But I'm waiting for confirmation from like the Fed or from another institution that's going to tell me, okay, game on, the market's going to move. Right now, like if you were to just try to play any of these plays, you're just trying to guess the timing, which is not what you want to be doing with options because you're just going to burn through your money where you could just save it until you get confirmation. It's always better to be late than wrong. So like if you're right, but you're way early and your contract expires before you're right and it plays out in that time period, then you lose all your money, even though you're still right. But if you were to be late on the trade, maybe you'll make 10 to 20% less, but you still got it. And maybe you were able to put more money into the play. Look at when VW hit its peak. Yeah, that would probably be October. That was also when the market was tanking. There's political rants in here. MSCI Global Investment Market Industry Method. Yeah. Al, I just need confirmation that they have to buy 5%. Jeremy just DM'd the image on Reddit. There we go. Let me look. Oh, that's where it says RICO. Okay. So the reason why they would want to try these under RICO is that so Wes Christian's done this. This is what kind of makes I don't want to say the format, but like the case more like sort of more legitimate because like Wes Christian has tried cases like this in the past and he's done them under the RICO statutes, which is basically it's basically using this statute to get the people that may have directed the lower down people to commit the crime, but the people at the top weren't necessarily the ones to commit the actual crime. So it's a way to get the people at the top who may have not actually been hands-on in the like perpetration of the actual crime, but they were involved by directing people to do it. Mod squashed it quickly. There we go. Do you think we will be red again tomorrow, STV? It's very possible, but at the same time, with what we've seen this week, we were on that big bullish uptrend really until we kind of were like flat. And then the Fed tapering news came out, and then we really started to tank. We saw some market volatility today, and we knew that the funds had those 14 million shares, and they could have had even more because we don't know when they're really sending those shares into the market to short. We don't really know that. We can kind of tell by looking at the short interest, but it's very hard because what we're getting isn't necessarily the accurate data. It's just the estimates from Ortex. So we also could rip tomorrow because if we see the market kind of calm down, because a lot of the time when we've seen these short-term dips in the market over the last couple of months, they just get eaten up real quick by buyers. Yeah, Ashraf has a really good point here. Ashraf, thanks for coming in again, man, and thank you so much for the super. Good luck with a civil case against billionaires. Buy and hold and watch. That's it. Today was a test, must admit. It's a waiting game in my opinion. Ashraf, I'm 100% on the same page as you. I do not think I said this before, that they literally have money allocated for situations just like this. They're either going to try to bleed the plaintiff dry in terms of their capital, or they're just going to settle and pay them off. And then it's going to give them more confidence to do what they're doing already. If they're committing these acts at the current time, they're going to be like, yeah, we got out of it just now. Why would we stop doing this? Because we know we can beat these cases. So in my opinion, all of these legal cases need to be, or they're going to have the most effect after the squeeze. John Smith has breaking news. Will you be shorting the VIX again tomorrow? I'm not gonna say because I don't like. I always try to base what I say on my streams and videos on if Gary Gensler was standing right here, and I feel like Gary would get mad at me if I said that. SCB, why do you view the lawsuit as a positive thing? I don't. It's neutral. What evidence is there for the claim? I have no idea. I haven't read it. Won't it just be considered a ghost hunt by the media? Yep, I agree with you. I never said it was a positive thing. Lawsuits do nothing against billionaires. They pay to push it off until it's simply forgotten and you are broke. Jeremy, 100%. What are your guys' opinions on this lawsuit? Drop it in the chat. What do you guys think? I feel like I've said what I think about this. What do you guys think? If we go green tomorrow, especially a Friday, very bullish. Agreed. STV is my favorite live streamer. Chris, thank you. I have no shame. I just say things. Did I miss the new lawsuit? Sort of. It's out of Florida. It's suing Ken, Citadel Securities, the market maker. I think the lawsuit is a very lost cause. Agreed. Pointless. Agreed. I feel like we need more info. Yeah. And 007. Yeah. Can you repeat the September 1st news and the special date? Yes, I can. Eric says it's going to lead nowhere. Agreed. Waste of time. Makes no difference. Lawsuit good, says Zachary. Yeah, it's just opinions at this point on what it could potentially bring. Citibank opened the... No, they didn't. No. Come on. Bogus. Citibank opened the A2MC34 ticker in Brazil. That's hilarious, especially with what Citi did today. I mean, they could have just underwritten it, but who knows? Or facilitated it. And you couldn't sue anyone, so just don't. Yeah, we don't know what it is. Exactly. I think we'll help with discovery, but that's only if it's made public. As for squeeze, I think it's a non-starter until at least a couple of years. I agree. Okay, so that September 1st date, we did that whole big rant before I shorted myself, but we have that uncleared margin rule phase 5 coming in on September 1st. That is that the DTCC is expecting to really have an uptick in the margin calls surrounding OTC derivatives. So with that, we already have a lot of derivative exposure. And when a lot of these institutions are already over leveraged, we're going to see the increase in margin calls, which kind of just feeds into this liquidity bleed out that we've been talking about a lot over the last month and a half. Good luck trying to find Kenny. Last I heard he was in the Cayman Islands. Lawsuit ain't going anywhere. Matty Vision, true. But again, we don't really know for sure if Citadel's the big bad guy. In my opinion, I think they're involved in some form. That's just my speculation. Because they're the largest market maker. And the market makers have that legal ability to naked short. So we don't know if they're just taking the other side of these trades to fill them with naked shorts. We have no idea. And then two, I think the way that this situation gets so big is that it's not just one institution, it's a bunch of them doing this. Oh, Ben, have a nice night, man. Uh, you know what, man? It's worth putting more eyes on it. The one thing this lawsuit won't do is hurt in any way whatsoever. Yeah, 007. I agree. That's why I said earlier that I think it's not I don't think it's good for the squeeze, but I don't think it hurts either. Uh, yeah, I'm a huge James Bond fan too. I used to watch those all the time. With the relatively new institutional ownership in AMC, plus the fact that hedge funds are out to blank each other, throw in FOMO, it's coming, says Ian. Yeah. I was just about to pull something up. Where was it? Citibank custodian. I was gonna pull something up. I forget what it was. Let's pull Ortex back up. We get these weird updates throughout the night. Oh, here we go. This is getting a little bit more interesting. Now the short interest is 18.1. We have a borrowed change for AMC, 557,000 borrowed against AMC today. Interesting. So it's climbing up. Ashraf, thank you so much for the super. You and TMI should start one of those 500 to 25,000 investment challenges with us. We make money together. Ask TMI if he pops in. Anyway, bedtime, enjoy. Ashraf, thank you so much for the super. And yeah, we are actually trying to get in on that. That'll be fun. Palantir getting ready for a massive catalyst by acquiring physical gold. Because could this mean a massive catalyst for the MOAS? It's more a play on inflation or stagflation or whatever they think is coming. But when you think about it, Palantir is in the data analytics and predictive analytics field. This is their business. If they are predicting more black swan events to come and they have a bunch of capital, they need to be able to preserve their buying power. So moving that $50 million into gold is, in my opinion, it's smart. A lot of people have been talking about gold. I know a lot of people don't like gold, but a lot of people have been talking about gold as a way to kind of hedge and preserve your buying power if in Q4 or anywhere later or at any time over the next year, we do see a major market event happen. It could be a good hedge. And the very smart people that I've talked to have said, yeah, gold is a decent option in times like that to preserve your buying power. SCV, can we do a stream where we just talk about different James Bond movies? 007, yes, we can. I think we've kind of done that before, but we can definitely do it again. Don't get distracted by any single catalyst. Havana, spot on. Because, yeah, they're just catalysts. So I'm sure you've explained this, but what happens if Citadel and other hedge funds file for bankruptcy? Well, there's their hedge fund insurance. There's a potential government bailout if they're too big to really go under to cover their positions. There's that SFT program, that NSCC 010, where they pledge their assets, they get cash, and they can cover a lot of their positions. There's the DTCC's insurance. There's the DTCC's endowment that a lot of people think is insurance. There's also that policy that if a member is going to fail in the DTCC, the other members will help them not fail. So there's a lot of different backstops that we have. Did utilization get updated? No. Utilization has not updated yet. It'll get updated in the morning. All the FTDs in the millions had zero effect on the prices lately, right? I think we saw one of the T plus 35 days have an effect, but other than that, no. They have not had an effect. Would gold or inflation-linked bonds be a better hedge? Tips would be good in this situation, but they might be really expensive. I'd have to look at tips. again, to see how they would react. No dates, but anyone got any dates? I don't know. You looking for somebody to go out on a date with? Hi, SCV. What's the utilization number during the June rip? Great question. It was about 100%. So we saw it really start to come up in April, and then once we got into the end of April, it was 100%, bounced around, came down in the middle of May to 96, went up to 99.33. The June 2nd day or June 3rd, utilization was at 98.91 and then tanked all the way down to 77.74. And now has been kind of bouncing around and coming back up ever since. Recently, it's come down a little bit though, which is it's kind of unexpected to me. But we did see a decent price movement to the upside, so it would make sense that the utilization would come down a little bit. But with the prices a little bit higher, it's enticing more shorts right now to try to get in, and they think they can push the price down a little bit more. So that could end up pushing the utilization back up to where we were or even higher. But again, we have to think about how utilization is calculated. It's the amount of shares that institutions are willing to lend out versus the amount of shares that have been lent out already. So when that is taken into account, if the amount of shares that institutions are willing to lend or can lend out is increasing, and that can happen because we saw that June run up, we saw more investors come in. More investors may not understand the full depths of the situation, that the turning off the ability to or turning off share lending I don't want to say it, but it's a smart thing to do if you don't want another institution to be able to take your shares and use them against your position. I think that's a good way to put it so I don't get in trouble. So yeah, there could be a lot more shares that institutions just have that they can lend out. Can they fudge the utilization number? That one they really shouldn't be able to. The short interest they can mess with. A share is a share. Nobody knows if it's real or synthetic. Right. I would enjoy watch parties. I miss not having anyone to comment with on TV. Just one of the little things about being a widower. Havana. Rehypothecation of synthetics is the reason the supply never runs dry. Yeah. Dean says, good morning to everyone. Whew, it's nighttime for me. Could you explain what you were saying the other day about buying short shares, but then this shows a negative number? Dean, I don't really remember that. I don't know how it would show as a negative number. We had a nice run up to get mainstream media talking with the dummy face. Yeah, they're complete idiots. There's like that burner account that Gasparino seems to be using. It's crazy right now with the media and the FUD that they're putting out. The craziest one is that we all knew that Adam Aaron was planning on repositioning his shares and giving the custody of those shares to his financial advisor, where he really doesn't have control over, near his birthday in September. But Motley Fool could not help themselves, and we knew somebody was going to do it. I'm just shocked that Motley Fool would do this first, because we know how much FUD they pump out. That they were like, Adam Aaron is smartly selling shares. No, he's not. Let's see. If Ortex is only 85% accurate, does that mean utilization could be higher? Amanda, yeah, it definitely can. I would say that it most likely is. But when we look at that research report from that University of Notre Dame, that professor at the University of Notre Dame, when the utilization is above 75%, there's a 1 in 26 chance every day, or 1 in every 26 days, that there's a forced share recall that happens. And when that happens, that's just an institution for a variety of reasons. It can be whatever reason, because they can recall those shares whenever they want to without really a reason. I've shown you guys that before with that BNY Mellon piece, that they can just recall those shares, and that's forced covering. It may not be all of the shares, but it could be a portion, and that could have been what we saw in this major utilization dump right here. Quadruple witching is the third Friday of September. Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, we've seen a couple of these witching days in the past, and they don't really amount to a lot. The SEC is not trying to get involved. They know that AMC could crash the market if they really did their job. Charles, I disagree, because the SEC does not make these types of investigations public. And we don't want that, even if they were, like, if they're, like, I think they're investigating right now. but I don't want them to come out into the public and do that, because what that would really prompt right away is that all of these institutions that have been doing bad things, they would just turn on the shredders. Just be like, all right, everything's gone now. No, not a lot of evidence. How are you going to prove it? They could be doing that right now. But again, what's like the height of this squeeze is really going to determine how bad they've screwed themselves on this short. Do you think there would be a lot of margin calls after September 1st? I mean, Peters, it doesn't really matter what I think. The DTCC said it, so it's very possible. The only people, yeah, they would know. The market makers would have an idea. What's your opinion on bear market hedges besides meme stocks, bear ETFs, physical gold, silver materials? You can do it a variety of ways. Those leverage ETFs that are inverse, you can mess around with those if you want to. The issue is that those get recalculated every single day. So with the swaps, the bonds that are in those ETFs, they get rebalanced on like a daily basis to make sure they're actually like triple levered. You can play the VIX. You can enter into some bond plays. If there's a lot of inflation or stagflation, you can invest in gold. There's a lot of different plays that you can do, or eventually you can just buy the dip. You could sell your portfolio and then wait for a dip. That's not, in my opinion, it's probably not the smartest thing you could do, because the market could keep going up and then you're just trying to time everything. So there's that old saying, time in the market is always going to beat trying to time the market. 100% they're investigating to maintain the integrity of their case. They keep it quiet. Timmy, agreed. Could Citi get in trouble legally? They gave it such a low market price, then bought more shares. It looks like market manipulation to me. So they actually upped their price target. And I'm not sure if you caught that. Where is this? It is right here. So what happened was AMC had its price target increased by analysts at Citi, which if they're analysts, they're like they could be first or second year analysts, or or they could be higher up, third or fourth year. It doesn't matter. They're not the ones really making the trades. So at Citigroup, from $3.70 to $5 in a research report issued to clients and investors on Thursday. So they increased their price target, but their price target is still incredibly low. But the key thing is that they still have a sell rating. If they had a buy rating, it would be a little bit different, because it would make sense that they increase their position by 92%. But again, they only have about 62,000 shares. It's not crazy, but it's just a weird dynamic that I found, where Citi upped their price target, has a sell rating, but in Q2, they upped their position size by 92%. It's like, what are you doing? Why do you have such a low price target? Why do you have a sell rating? And why, with that getting put out there, why would you then just put it out in the open that you bought almost 100, like almost doubled your position in AMC over the last quarter? It just seems strange. Analysts are bums, kind of like movie and video game critics. They all have an agenda to push. True. Is TMI knocking yet? I don't know. Citi is using my tactic of buying high and selling low. JK. I do have those hoodies now on the store that say like short low, cover high. Those are pretty funny. I gotta order one of those. These hoodies though are so comfortable. Like, I wear this all the time. It's like my new favorite hoodie. I wonder what Rich Greenfield's neck thinks of that. I mean, he probably is angry. Maybe they dumped them since then. Fee runs at AMC. It's very possible, but why? Like, if you buy that much in Q2 in the stock, like we said before, the stock went from like 10.77 to 58 at the end of the quarter. If you had a net buy of almost doubling your position in that time, why now, when the stock drops to 33, would you sell? Because when the stock goes that high, you obviously think that it can go higher. So why get out of your position at 33.82 or 33.55 around here, these lower levels that we're seeing in the after hours? They wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, we will never know when it's going to moon. It's just going to rip when we least expect it. Stay the course, people. Delusion, thank you so much for that super chat, man. I really appreciate it. SCB, would you be able to have a read on the link when you're free and share your opinion on it. It's a long read. DM'd you on Twitter, Ronnie Chen 84. Thanks and would appreciate it. Delusion. I will definitely try to get to that. Let me see right now. I got to accept it and it'll be in my inbox now. All right, cool. I have that saved. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. Super. There are mixed opinions to when the 2008 crash began. Yeah. Every bear aged 10 years, if you look at all their photos. Yeah. We are all just kids or degenerates to the public eye. They don't have to take us serious yet. They want to keep traditional investors far away. I mean, I'm technically just a kid. Rich Greenfield's neck is long. Yeah. I get a good vibe that GG is working on what is an old embedded system of legal methods to get an edge that have evolved to go against the spirit of the rules. I think he's doing everything that he can. Let's see. Oh. Yeah. Hey, Delusion, I've read that global links thing. I've brought that up a lot. Where he buys all of the shares and then takes delivery of them. And then the OTC market trading was like the next couple of days, it was like 20 million and then 30 million when he didn't make a trade. I've seen that. I'll look deeper into that article though, because that could be interesting. SV, are you into crypto also like Matt? If so, what do you like? Martin, I am not, but I really want to get into it. I think crypto has a lot of potential over the next 5 to 10 years. And I haven't really looked into it enough to like feel confident enough in putting my money in certain coins. So I'm definitely going to. I just need to find the time to learn. So like that's where I'm at right now. I just want to be honest with you guys. Like I don't have like this in-depth understanding of crypto coins. I'm more knowledgeable on what's going on with the stock market than crypto coins. What computer equipment are you working off of? I literally just have a Mac and a screen and a USB mic. It's not very complicated. Yeah, like Cardano, Ethereum. I like Ethereum a lot. I also like Vitalik Buterin. He's cool. He's hilarious too. There's a TikTok account called Vitalik Doing Things, and it's just clips of like Vitalik. It's hilarious. You're going to love crypto? Yeah, I know I am. That's the problem. I'll just go. See, the thing is like if I get interested in something, this is what happened with me and AMC. If I get like super interested in something, I'll just go deep down the rabbit hole and just not focus on anything else, which is bad. We are due another historical event. I mean, we did have one last March, kind of, and then when are you going to take the Series 7? Never. I was going to take it my sophomore year just for fun. But then you have to take the SIE first. And I was like, that's stupid. It's a prerequisite. Let me just take the test. But they wouldn't let me do it. And a lot of people don't know if you want to take the Series 7, you have to be sponsored by an institution. And it's like $5,000 a year, I think, to be sponsored. So if I'm not going to use it, there's just some institution out there just like they would just be paying for me to not make them. So I don't have a license. Hey, Vix, I've been trying to reach you about your expired warranty. Oh, so that was you? There was another person trying to reach me about my senior Medicare benefits. The nice part about crypto is there are no failure to deliver. When it runs hard because there are no market makers sitting on the other side pumping fake coins. Brandon, interesting. No options market, though. Oh, there is on Bitcoin, I believe, but it's different, I think. Very different. I took crypto profits and put them into Doge, earning 5% and holding long. There you go. Like there's that concept of like staking where I believe you get like a certain interest rate, and BlockFi gives you a crazy interest rate too on holding your coins there. Like there's a lot of cool stuff about crypto. Yeah, there are options. I have seen the option chain on Bitcoin before. Hellbliss says why I haven't slept in 7 months. I feel the same way. I woke up this morning and I was like, this is just going to be a tough day. Options expiring tomorrow, says James. Okay, so right now, where's Stonko Tracker? I have it up somewhere. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Stonko Tracker? All right. Gonna have to use the old Google again. All right. Right now, it's like not crazy anymore. We did have over 100,000 contracts in the money at above 38. But right now it's 36,000. That's 3.6 million shares. Let's say it's an average delta of like 0.6. That would then be about 1.8 million shares that they would have to buy. Not really going to make that much of a difference. We can see that there's a lot more puts in the money now, which could lead to more hedging short volume tomorrow. But again, if we start to rip at the open and we can hold, we could see a decent amount of gamma pressure come in, and we could see that hedging. And that hedging is buying volume from the institutions to hedge the calls and buying volume from those institutions to unhedge the puts that have run in the money. Hey, bro, you're going to give me financial advice right now. No, I'm not. Oh, it is power half hour. 36K. What a difference. What happened? We fell 7.5% today. That's what happened. If you can't handle these hot stocks, then stay out of the kitchen and consider investing in index funds. I'm not really good at the Keenan impression. I'm better at the Wrench Capital impression.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Hedge Capital.
SCB, how many of TMI's scratch and sniff banana hammocks do you have in your collection? Gio, the better question would be how many of them don't I have? Hey, SCV, it's shot o'clock. I don't have anything near me right now. I think all my drinks are in like the downstairs, like the other room that I was in. But don't worry. In 2 days, I will be back at school. And on the Thursday night streams, we will definitely be getting after it. Power half hour STD advice? I don't know. Tenaz, I thought I accidentally clicked a wrench video. Guys, I'm telling you, my wrench impression is not bad. That's like the only one that I can do. Crypto is running tonight? Yeah, that's what I've heard. Cardano was running for a while. Oh, Gia, you went golfing today? There you go, buddy. Looks like things are heating up. Hold the line. That wrench video was a little too good. Ooh. Yeah, see, I don't watch enough of everybody's videos to like understand. The only things that I watch are like TMI stream when I'm in there messing around in the chat, and then the last like hour or half hour of the day, I'll put on match stream for background noise. Or I'll pay attention because usually he'll like go on those funny rants in the last hour. And it's good entertainment. Oh, MD, thank you so much for becoming a member. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, the membership program is basically just for you guys to get the first updates on everything that TMI and I have going on with the podcast and all of the other stuff that we have working for you guys in the background. So when everything's ready, which should be very soon, you guys are going to get the updates and first access. So thank you so much for becoming a member, MD. Oh, impression I meant? Yeah.
What's up, guys?
No, that one wasn't good. That one I didn't put my effort into. The other one I did. The other one was solid. I'm long liquid IV. 007, I'm definitely longer on liquid IV. I would go out and say that I am the biggest bull on liquid IV that exists. Even though they don't sponsor me, it's fine. It's all right. John, thank you so much for that super. I don't see a question there. If you are wanting to ask a question, just drop it down below and I will do my best to answer it. But thank you so much for that super. What's good, asked Taylor. Pay no attention to the word. What word? World. I can't read. This is like far away tonight for some reason. Let me like move this over. Best 007 movie. Skyfall's really good. I like Die Another Day. GoldenEye's really good. First couple are really good too. Other one was So Solid. All right. See, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. This weekend on Saturday, I'm moving to my new apartment, so I may not be done moving in time to make a video. Sorry. But what I might do is watch Wrench Capital videos, and then on the Sunday night stream, I could do like a 1 minute impression, and try to nail it. But I don't know. Is Liquid IV what gave you the sharks? No. Hey, what are your thoughts on the lawsuit against Citadel? I think it is neutral. I'm neutral on it. I don't think it's going to hurt us. I don't think it's going to help us. But what I don't want is people to blow it out of proportion to be like, oh my God, they're getting investigated. It's going to cause the squeeze. I don't think that's really going to happen. Like Ken Griffin, personally named, we'll go back to it right here. No, it's not this one. This one. Ken Griffin, Citadel Securities, market maker, Citadel Connect Dark Pool, Citadel LLC Hedge Fund, the SEC, FINRA, DTCC, Robinhood, and Webull. There's also this that says it's RICO, the Racketeering RICO Act. So very interesting stuff. Oh, and then more derivatives. Cool. Is there a cost for the membership? Yeah. Have you met Wrench Capital? I have not. I don't think anybody's met Wrench. I've met TMI, Trey, Review Dork, Rogue, Applejacks, Alpaca. Nando's out for the night. Nando, thank you. Eric says, SUV, doesn't the 13F show institutional ownership at 30% plus? If yes, do we know what the retail ownership is? Last we heard it was 80 plus percent. How is that possible? Okay. So that is something that we really need to be careful about because there's a very important distinction that we need to make of, is it the institutions and retail that own over 80%, or were they saying just retail? That's what we would need to know. If it's institutions and retail, the 30% number doesn't really like help us. But if it's only retail with over 80%, which is entirely possible, then that 30% number, as reported to Fintel, yeah, it would help us. But we would also have to know the percent change in retail ownership over the last quarter, because we're seeing the 13Fs come out, but we're not necessarily seeing the change in retail ownership. I would think it would go up because of that June run up. But again, we don't know for sure. Like, it would make sense that it would go up though. Oh, AJ, you asked that question? Sorry, man, I didn't see it. You will meet Fuzzy in Vegas. I'm buying you one of those tall green drinks that goes around your neck to hold it. I've never seen that, Fuzzy, but I'm down. I have not met Matt yet. 007's gonna start his own James Bond chat streams. 007, what's your favorite James Bond movie? Did you meet Kevin? No, I didn't, but I really want to. That would be cool. I would love to meet Kevin on one of these streams. But it's kind of hard when he's a full-time YouTuber and running for public office. Like, it kind of hurts the chances. The most interesting thing I found in Bond films is our significant progress from racism and women's role in the world. Interesting. The thing that messed with my head about the Bond movies is that Casino Royale on is a prequel to every other movie. Oh, Nepal, what did you do? Algo equals dad jokes for sure. Oh yeah, yeah. There was somebody in here dropping lots of dad jokes one night. Anyone else think sports betting stocks will go up soon because of NFL season? That would be priced in. Everybody would expect that to happen. So here's the thing that really moves stocks. If everybody thinks something is going to happen, like an event, and it just meets expectations, then the stock could sell off or stay flat. If something surprises or beats expectations, or misses expectations, that's when we see the price move up or down. That's where the concept of priced in comes in. Uh, so that's why earnings is so fun. It's like, well, they have the expectation, you have what the market is pricing in for the projected move, and it's do you agree or disagree? It's very binary. Is Skyfall a newer Bond movie? I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, that's the one with that's a really good one. It's with all the Adele songs. Roger Moore was a good Bond. Don't sue. Yeah, he's pretty good. Charles Payne in the league or what? He said he's down. Charles Payne said he's down to come to our fantasy football league. So if you guys didn't know, he tweeted out something one time, like this week, and I tried to kind of like shoot my shot at getting on making money with Charles Payne, and I didn't get a reply. So that kind of hurts, or a follow also kind of hurts. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't think he saw it. Skyfall is 7 years old. That makes me feel old. STV shorters really wanting the price to drop today. Probably trying to keep it below 40 for tomorrow's close. Tomorrow could be really big. The Honest Ape. Yeah, it definitely could be. Yeah, I tried to get Charles Payne's attention to go on making money. I was like, "Oh, it's time." Cuz I've been just ranting about these media institutions and like what I want them to do. And I think that would be a fun conversation to have with Charles Payne and how this uh relates to AMC and the information that people are trying to push that is just verifiably false. Yeah, I don't think maybe I did see Spectre. It wasn't that good. GoldenEye was really good. I played yeah, see, I wasn't, I'm too young for the N64 GoldenEye, so I played it on the Wii. Pain don't want no Nando, that was a good one. Uh, let's see. Vix, one day you will have your chance with Charles. Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I might as well ask. It was like the perfect tweet to do it too. I was like, oh, perfect, we'll do it. SV, just so you know, we saw you shoot your shot. I also saw you shoot your shot on that. Eric, that was a good one. Like if we break 40 tomorrow, look for a huge run up next week. Honest Ape, oh, 100%. Which James Bond did he roll the car across the river? I don't remember that one. I know he jumped like a river one time or a lake. John says, thanks for sharing the knowledge. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. I'm pushing 40. That makes me feel old. I'm 22. Nando says, I'm cheering for you, though. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Oh, man, with the golden gun. Yeah, I liked that one. That was a good one. With the island and the golden gun. That was a good one. Thanks for reading my comments. Honest Ape, anytime. What are the chances they keep it at $200, $300 mark and channel down for a month before MOAS? It's possible, but at the same time, if we get that high, these smaller hedge funds with short positions are going to get margin called. And depending on how many of these small institutions there are with decent sized short positions, that could easily set off the squeeze all the way up. Um, the big like margin call or liquidation price could be 100, it could be 200, 300, 500, it could even be 1,000. We don't know what it is, where they can maintain these liquidity requirements in order to keep kicking the can down the road and keep holding these short positions. We don't necessarily know. But again, if we do see these higher price levels, it just adds to the potential of, okay, well, somebody's getting margin called right now. Like it may not be the giant institutions out there, but when the stock rips like 5x, 6x, 7x, even 10x, and you have a short position on it, somebody's getting a call that says, hey, we're going to need more money for you to keep this position or you're done. I'm surprised no one's talking about price discovery. Has it where retail orders under 100 shares don't influence the price? Basically, saying demand is only contingent with big money. AJ, I think the odd lot theory was disproved, but I'm not sure. I'd have to take a deeper look into that. Gut feeling for tomorrow: open red, go green, but nobody knows. Oh, Ken, thank you so much for that generous Superman. Thank you so much. After YouTube's cut, this should at least get you a 6-pack for your move this weekend. Good luck and don't drop the ball lifting a couch. Ken, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I will definitely buy something. I'll definitely go to I am planning on going to the liquor store on Saturday right after I move in. Gotta stock the fridge. Thank you so much, Ken. Yeah, odd lot debunked. I think perfect dark was better than 007 for the 64. Yeah, see, that's before my time. Kringle saying buying odd lots is actually slightly better because it costs market makers more in fees. He laid it out in a space call like 3 nights ago. Yeah, so ooh. Whoops. Sorry about that if there was noise. I just hit my mic by accident. But yeah, I trust Kringle with information. He's a very smart individual with experience in the industry. So yeah, he's told me that before. I've heard the odd lot theory about how they're not getting incorporated into the buying volume and how they were getting packaged together and then sold at wholesale. But I actually heard that theory was debunked, and then Kringle came out with that situation or that information. So yeah. Is this power half hour? Chris, it is. It is power half hour. Everybody's being pretty tame tonight, though, but you can say pretty much whatever you want within reason, and we'll have some fun. We got 15 minutes left. Road rap. What are you guys talking about? Motorcycle accidents? How many synthetic shares do you guys own? I don't know. Probably a bunch. I'm new to investing. I found a low-key company that 6 different banks keep buying and selling thousands of stock. What can that do long term? You have to. It really depends. You'd have to look at the net inflow versus net outflow of institutions over the last couple of quarters to see if they're really bullish on it over the long term. If it's a continued net inflow from institutions, that could be a really good buying indicator because the analysts and the analytical power that they have is most likely going to outweigh a lot of what you're able to do, especially if you're new. So there's a couple of things that you can look at to track. That's one of them. But yeah, that's really all I got for that question. Kenny G eats hot dogs with his bum. Interesting. Oh, AJ Bambino, guys, thank you so much for these big supers. I really appreciate it. Beer and pizza for the boys, helping us move too. Riding Ken's coattails, separate note. Siamese twins with 2 upper bodies and same lower. Is that a threesome? What do you got? No. AJ Bambino, that would not be. Actually, yes, it would be. Guys, I just heard the blue bloop, and I'm gonna take a wild guess at who it is because I'm not looking right now, but I think I know. Oh, here we go. Just in time for the last couple minutes of Power Half Hour.
OnlyFans, 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 OnlyFans. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I shorted myself earlier. If I was a ticker, I just fat fingered and hit the sell button instead of the buy button.
No.
Yeah.
What happened? You turned off the stream?
No, I just hit the power button on my computer.
Okay.
So my screen went off and it had my on the Mac how it pulls up your password page.
Yeah.
So I thought everybody just saw my name.
Because you're thinking that they're still seeing your screen. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
But it just broadcasted my face on the screen, and I'm just sitting here. I go back in and the stream's still going. And I'm looking over, I'm like, why hasn't it switched over back to my screen yet? And I had to go in and switch it. So everybody just had me on their screen for a while.
That is hilarious. You definitely need to change your username to Short the Vix.
Well, they can't see it. Well, we know this now.
Yeah, but if you were to ever pull up an image,
Yeah.
onto your desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to change my stuff to TMI because issues. You
Yep.
never know, man. You never know.
Never know. Yeah. See, then everybody's laughing at me too. Then everybody thought I farted at one point tonight. It's just been a wild night.
Jesus Christ, what happened tonight?
I don't know. All of
It's the
a
Chipotle.
sudden, I'm just like going through stuff, and then people were like, "You farted, you farted, you farted." And I was like, "What?" I was
What
like,
happened with
"Guys,
this? What's
if
this?
I did, I would just look you dead in the eyes and be like, yup."
Like you just did? That's very confusing. That's very confusing. What's up with all this pump and slump stuff?
I don't know.
No TMI, not farted.
Oh, sharded.
Ah, got you.
Yeah, I sharded the stream. It was bad.
Oh boy.
STV's Bond villain named Dr. Gas. Guys, come on now.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I still haven't
Yeah.
figured out who the Twitter account Shark the Vix is yet.
Who? You really don't know?
No, I don't know who created the account.
Interesting. I thought they would have come out or at least told you at this point in time.
No, it's every once in a while I'll see them like resurface and like comment on one of my tweets, but like then they just go quiet.
Oh boy. So what's the plan? What you guys been talking about? What you guys been covering?
The lawsuit, the Brazil stuff, options,
Nice.
just the basics, Ortex.
I think the whole Brazil thing was funny. But when someone first asked me that in the live, I was just like,
Ask you what?
I don't know about Brazil. They're like, what about these 101 billion in market cap in this Brazilian AMC? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to break it down for me? And then the math, someone else had the answer already in the live chat. It was like within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, interesting. Okay, so we're getting better.
Yeah, I was looking at that for a while today. I was like, it could go both ways. Like that's kind of where I was at. I was like, I don't think anybody knows enough about this right now to just be like, this is the definitive answer. That's why I didn't touch it in the video.
Well, I think we all, I'm speaking for everyone in the live chat. We know you go both ways already. We're fully aware of that. That's
Oh, you mean
fact.
like with like everybody's moms and then their sister?
Yeah, their moms and their boyfriend's girlfriend, all that stuff. Yeah, that stuff.
Tampa, thank you so much for the super. This is because you're moving. I moved 9 times in college. I know the deal. Thank you, man. I just gotta move into my apartment.
College. Oh,
I'm trying to move into that apartment.
Slowly but surely.
For
moving to the apartment. When do you move in?
I'm gonna try to do it as quick as possible. Just basically drop all my stuff in there and then figure it out.
I mean, it is that time. If I had $1 for every time I heard that. Damn, shots fired.
That was a good one.
Where are you gonna take off your mask now? I don't know. I have to speak to the reps at OnlyFans. No one ran this stuff by me. Okay, no one asked me, hey, is it cool if we change up the whole strategy for, for what we're planning on doing here? It's like, no, you don't just change up OnlyFans. Like, it's just not something you do.
Oh yeah.
It's just freaking ridiculous if you ask me.
You upset about that, TMI?
Yes. Yes, that's where income was gonna be coming from after the squeeze. You thought this squeeze was something. Wait till you see that. Actually, you know what? Never mind.
Dude, the funniest thing is gonna be what my desk is gonna be in my apartment for the first week. The folding table.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be that college life.
Well, I have a desk. It's just I ordered it last week, and apparently they decided to not give it to me in time.
They delivered a synthetic desk?
No, but they're synthetically shipping it.
I mean, well, we'll get an update. It's gonna be good to see, what life is like again in a dorm room for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'll show you guys my apartment. It'll just be like me turning the screen. Be like, here it is.
Ta-da!
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a tiny beer pong table.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, like if I have people in my apartment, I'm gonna have to take my computers off, put them
Oh
somewhere else.
yeah, that's gonna be crazy. You're gonna have people walking all throughout this. So, wow, I have so many questions now
What?
in regards to content. Oh, and I have some solid updates for you
Oh, I'm ready.
after the stream.
Perfect. Y'all
It's
can catch these ankles on OnlyFans now. What is
oh yeah.
OnlyFans? Jack the Ripper? Good question. Shark the Vix versus Gasparino? I'm down. I see
Tommy
you would totally
Sevens.
have one of those empty bachelor apartments. Dude, I don't want to have a lot of things because I'll just let it get messy. So I'm gonna have like the least amount of things possible.
Smart man. Plus, if your ex or new girlfriend or wife or girlfriend's girlfriend ever gets mad at you, there's less things to kind of destroy. It's always good to have less things to destroy.
Yeah.
Simplistic lifestyle.
I mean, I don't think we would. I don't think anybody's gonna destroy anything.
Yeah, you never know. She might try to short the VIX. STV would totally have one of those empty ass bash apartments. See,
Yeah.
this is M. James. Why not? Less is more, people.
What do I need? Like, I don't need like a couch. I mean, I could use a couch. The amount of disaster it would be trying to get a couch into the
I
third
think your
floor
I
of
think
this
your
apartment
strategy
building
is
would just be annoying.
yeah. I think your strategy is perfect. You have what you need. If anyone wants to come over, they can pick and choose floor or bed, your choice.
Exactly.
And it's like, I am all down for options. You're down for options, obviously. So you're providing people options.
Exactly.
It's like, listen, I provide people options on the daily. Okay, this is what I do. Here are your options. Would you like to sit on the floor
You can
or
either buy calls or you can buy puts.
oh, I didn't know where you're gonna go with the puts because puts is one of those things where you can really dig into.
Yeah.
OnlyFans has a huge feet community. That's what TMI told me.
Wait, what?
Hodl AMC says OnlyFans has a huge feet community. That's what TMI told me.
Oh, does it? That's kind of cool.
Listen, if anyone wants to open up an OnlyFans before they close off, and have me as their manager, I'll just run through pictures. I'll be the advertiser, and I'll just run through your pictures, and we'll split the commission. Okay, people, we'll just get this business started right now.
You be the photographer?
No, I don't have the stomach for that.
Gotcha.
I'll just literally just like
Stomach.
I don't have stomach for that. No. Nope. We're not getting all the different angles and lighting. No. You guys take the pictures, send it to me. I'll be the promo guy. I'll send out the links. You guys will make your cut. We'll donate my cut to charity or to Short to Fix's couch. One of the two.
Exactly.
It's a win-win, people. The only shorts are important AMC shorts from Brazil to
Apparently,
short the US
margin
AMC.
call requirements got accelerated from September 1st to August 23rd. Let me look this up.
Breaking 88 broke all-time highs. Let's go.
Let's do some research real quick on margin requirement, like the big bad margin calls that we were about to see.
Love to see that.
Let's see. I need a source. Dear client, formula okay, change our margin. Oh yeah, that's Interactive Brokers. That's not the DTCC. Yeah, that's different. AMC OnlyFans, good idea. Pictures could be of the charts or boom boom candles. That's just like our YouTube channel though. So then our YouTube channel is like the OnlyFans.
Yep.
Oh, Hugh would be proud. TMI. Where is Hugh? Hugh was in here earlier, I think.
Hugh, where you at?
I made my money on OnlyFans in college doing live personal training before it was all the P word. Lol. Tampa, there you go. I didn't know they have a live feature on there too?
On what?
On OnlyFans.
They have live on OnlyFans?
They do?
So I can be streaming on OnlyFans and on YouTube at the same time?
Dude, that would be funny. You should
Dude,
try.
I
You should
might
try to do that.
I might just stream on OnlyFans tomorrow.
Go for it. Uh-oh, guys, we got 1 minute left. Less than a minute left. What do you got to say? Say some wild stuff. I know we're seeing it come in. 007 says Thailand. Fenway poop. All right.
Finish
Well,
that sentence.
thanks, guys.
You guys need to get up more. That's what you
We
think.
do? Yeah. You guys. I mean, what's there to do? Like, Ja Rule, what's up, man? Uh-oh. All right. It's 10 p.m. For those of you guys who have come in here with us, thank you. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram at shortthevix1, I will follow you back right now. We do this a lot. We got TMI with us, Masked_investor on Twitter and Instagram, and the Masked Investor on YouTube. Thanks for hopping in, guys.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
What?
Cam girls, they communicate with people live. You give them money, they do things that you want live in the real time. It makes sense.
Interesting.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh, guys, on the way out, if you guys have not smashed that like button.
Thank you, sir. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Adios. Don't shart yourself.